Welcome to another episode of the Everyday Game Changers podcast. I am your host, Barion McQueen, and you know how we do each and every week, talking to game changers in business, music, entrepreneurship, community. And today's guest, she checks a lot of boxes, especially from I ain't gonna get into the modeling and actress, but we really gonna talk some business today. I got Arielle Raycene in the building. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am well, trying to stay cool.
Yeah,
My
I get it.
AC's on like 65 right now. So, but how are you?
I'm good. I'm in Noto, Italy, and with my dad, and it is hotter than and they really have it right here. Like they come out in the morning, and then it's a ghost town.
Okay.
They're snapping, doing whatever. I don't know. Everything's closed. Like you go through these towns, and it's no one's there. And then around 6, when the sun goes down, the town comes back to life.
Really? So let me
Yeah.
ask you. So when I got married in Ireland, but the time when we went in Ireland, we got married in July, and it had been like the hottest it had ever been in
Mhm.
Ireland. So they didn't even have like ACs in the place where I stayed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what do the people do here? Is it like that there?
Um, no, they have. I've made sure the places I stay in, they have
Okay.
air conditioning. I'm at a
Okay.
bed and breakfast right now, and they have an air conditioning. So
Okay.
there was one. I stayed in a monastery one night, like an ancient one, and the air conditioning was not so good. But
Ah,
I was like inside of a cave, and it was over 1,000 years old. So what do I expect, right?
oh my
But
goodness.
yeah, no, it's too hot. Like it's not. It's unbearable. It's a lot, but it
So
is.
you very well traveled though. Is this just for leisure or to just
This is my very first time in Italy. My dad's been promising a trip to Italy because we're half Italian for 20 plus years, and
nice? He
you know
stuck
he's
to his
getting old.
word.
He's getting old enough to be nice now, so he's like, let's do that trip, you know?
Oh, snap. That's good. And you liking it so far, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's been like we've seen like all the rural things. Like we went on a road trip, and it's just seeing like the true heart of Italy, I would say, like where the real Italians are, not just the tourists. So
All right,
it's
so
been good.
y'all know offhand, me and Ariel already talked about that. I might be having a look into getting a place there. But talk to me about this real AF, right? So I
Yeah.
kind of briefly think I know what it is, but I want
Yeah,
you to give me your take on it, and then I
I
got some
will.
questions.
It's so much easier showing it than telling it, but I will do my best. And actually, I would love to like send you a demo of what it is. That way you can see it.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can plug it. Okay, so it's an online social media profile that's 3D, and it's completely customizable to the creator. And it's
Mm,
used to show what your fans would look what show your fans what you would look like in a room, like in the room you're in right now. So
okay.
basically, yeah, so the viewer can view it in AR and VR, and when January comes, the goggles, the Apple goggles. So it's like
Mm,
spatial web.
mm.
So do you understand that part? Do we get
I
that?
do. I do.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the person's there. You can like walk around them and get like the whole view of what they are. The other part I would say is more of like the why I'm doing this. Also, the why is partially because this is the technology that's coming to us no matter what. But we're not allowing any like filters or face apps or anything. So there will be no body
Mm,
alteration. So this is going to be a profile that is real. So like my
mm,
hope is that you know how we have a link tree with like all the other social media profiles we have. I want this one to be like the RealAF profile where you go there and you can see the person for who they really are and what they are. And like I want it to be an authentic place where you're just yourself. And like we have technology that can block out all the filters or like body alterations, and like they won't be allowed on there. So in the future, obviously, when technology gets better and better, like we want it to be a 3D social media platform, but right now it's a social profile, 3D.
mm.
Yeah.
So it's like holograms.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you basically walk into a studio, it's like 120 cameras on all sides of you, and like you can do whatever you want in the video. And like it's
Mm,
like scanning it, and then you can place them. Like, so when you're on the page, you can place them in your living room, wherever you are, make them big, small, walk around them. It's the whole thing.
So you only got to shoot it once to get the profile, right? And then you can,
Yeah.
in these different
Yeah.
realities, do whatever.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna launch with like you're just regular, like who you are as a person. You can do whatever you want in that, you know. And then we're gonna have them that you can do another video too, and you can like lock that asset, and then they can pay for it, like whatever you want to do in like real life. Like I don't
Mm,
know, whatever your cool talent you have, or whatever you want to do. Tell some secrets, do
got
some
it.
contortionist
So
stuff. Who knows?
you can create individual, let's say me in a yoga studio, right? And I want to exclusively release this to my audience to get my Baron in the yoga studio version of this. And this is
Yeah.
pretty much like a subscription base, right? So they get exclusive pro access to my profile.
Yeah. I want everything to like be free though for your like real profile, you know, and all that
Okay.
stuff. And later you can lock whatever you want. I mean, you can lock, you can go, I mean, honestly, it's up to you. So if you want to lock who you like lock the real profile, then you
Right.
can. And then you're gonna have, you can like come back into the studio if you want and create more things and lock it, and like people can place you anywhere and buy you.
Mm,
Yeah. So it's like not a subscription, but they can unlock the asset.
I like it. So my real profile for you guys will be free. And then my exclusive, it may be the podcast studio or the recording studio. Y'all can pay for that one. That's right. That works.
Yeah.
So how do you get into being, because I see your background, like you've done acting, you've done some modeling stuff. How do you get into this tech space?
Well, I'm definitely no genius. I'm not sitting at home writing code by any means. I went in for a test shoot for a friend's company called Digital Things, who's trying to figure out some problem in spatial web. And when I went in there and I was inside of all those like cameras and stuff, I realized that there's no place to hide in there.
Mm,
And I'm always looking for what's missing in the market. And what is missing in the market is a place where there aren't filters and
mm,
people are real.
mm.
So, you know, because like the pendulum has just swung way too far to one side, I think. Like we're all lying to ourselves if we think that this is what we look like. I was talking to my dad, and my dad's like, you know, I was like, I grew up in the 70s and like no one looked this good. I'm like, Dad,
Yeah,
it's editing. It's
yeah,
all editing, you
yeah.
know? Because like, and so at the end of the day, when we're doing this, we're lying to ourselves and we're lying to the people who watch us, which is fine, I guess. But like the kids that are coming up, they think this is like the normal expectations for beauty standards, and then like we
Mm,
get on social media and we feel sad about it. So I think if it's fine that Instagram's great for pretty pictures and all that stuff, and but we need some place where like, and I want it to kind of be the vibe, like, are you brave enough to be real?
mm,
Are you? You know, like we
mm.
have your Instagram, we know that version of you.
Right.
What is the version of you being real, authentic? Like we want people to start embracing
Yeah.
themselves, all of us. And we're like, we're gonna do your hair and makeup, or like if you want, or whatever. We want you to look good and you feel your best self. So
Yeah.
like we just need to start embracing like this is what we are.
Yeah.
And why are we always trying to hide it, you know? I don't know. It's just we went too far, I think.
I agree. It's interesting you say that. So I went to I get invited to so much nice stuff just because my personal brand's pretty good. So I got invited to Swim Week in Miami, and I actually didn't have to work. Like I just actually got to enjoy the shows, and some of my friends who walk, they like, oh Baron, get in this video. And then they get in the video and I had makeup on me in the video. And I'm like, yo, I think you got like a filter on because like my cheeks are not that rosy. Like I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a guy. I don't want no filter on me. And she's like, oh, just don't worry about it. Hey, I'm here with Baron. And I'm just like, and she's like, hey, you didn't share it. I'm like, yo, you had me like,
Oh, I know. I went to a gala and I took a picture with this person who was like, let's take a photo. And then he posted on his Instagram and he face apped me to look like and I had like makeup done. I looked great. I did not need a
Right.
filter that night. And he FaceTimed me and I was like, this, I don't
Oh
know.
my
I was like, not
gosh.
myself. And I was like, I'm not reposting this. This is awful. I actually used it as an example of
Or
what we're
whatnot.
doing to ourselves. Like, this is
That's a
crazy. And a
perfect
guy,
case study for your brand, right?
yeah, it was perfect. I was like, what? I did not look like that. I looked so cute in the non-edited photo. But yeah,
It's funny, man.
because yeah, they can edit videos now. Like people can edit videos now. So
it's
it's just we
crazy.
really don't know the man behind the mask sometimes, as they say.
I have a fashion magazine that I own called Da Vinci Magazine. And
Okay.
when I go through submissions, it's very tough that it's been so bad that the pictures that get submitted to our publication, I've walked past some of these models who have been featured in our platform and didn't even recognize them. Just
Yeah.
walking downtown Brickell, walking her dog, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Da Vinci is me," and I'm like, "Oh, who are you?" She's like, "Oh, it was in your magazine," and I'm just like, "That is you!" Like I was so I didn't even recognize her at all.
I know. So wouldn't it be great, like, if you could just like see someone's profile and be like, oh, let's click on this, what they really look like. Okay, okay.
The
Got
everyday
it.
walking the dog downtown.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
I get it now. Wow. That's definitely gonna take some bravery. Who you think?
Brainery?
No, some bravery for people to be
Oh,
like, yo,
bravery. Yeah,
yeah,
no, I
I'm
know.
on the Real AF app. This is
Well,
me.
it has to be a movement, and there's a lot of people out there who have started the movement of no filters or all that stuff too. It's small, but it's starting. And, in France, they're like thinking about if you are using a filter, then you have to like say it or there's going to be a mark on it or something. And they've already started like saying if it's edited in ads. So, I think it's just a movement. And I feel like there's a part of like the young generation that wants to go back to maybe something more real. I don't know.
Mm,
That's what I think. I just feel like we went too far and it has to even itself out at some point. But I think we need to start embracing like us being real. And I want it to be a little scary. I mean, I was scared going into the studio and like realizing that I can't hide behind anything,
right.
but it's who I am. So like, do I want to just lie about that or, like have the comfort of always hiding behind something that you can edit, but even though we look like what we look like.
Yeah, I feel like it's exhausting though. It's like to be like for me personally, I could just wake up like I should have got my hair cut before this interview, but this is just me, like but I just feel like it's exhausting if you have to turn something on every time. You have to always
Yeah.
be on point. And in Miami here, this is the land of just like
Oh, I
rented
know.
vehicles, rented cars, rented houses. Like nothing's real when you walk. So like if you see anybody and you catch them not Instagram ready, it was a mistake that you called them, or they're like big sunglasses, hoodies. Like you're not gonna spot them not ready for Instagram. So
Yeah, I gotta.
I think what you're doing is great though. It's going to encourage some people to be brave though, but some people are going to be scared.
Oh, no one's gonna. I know there'll be some people that will never want to do that, but like I want it to be like almost not like a bullying thing, obviously, but just like, well, why haven't you done it yet? I
Yeah,
want to
like a
like,
badge of honor. Like,
yeah, badge of honor. I want it all like, oh, okay. I want you to feel good about doing it. And like
how do
I
you?
did it.
So let me ask you, how do you start targeting people to get onto this campaign? Like you've been a model, so like, do you gonna call all your model friends and say, "Look, I need y'all involved"? How's that
I
gonna
mean, it's
play
been a
out?
challenge, honestly, but because it's just like starting to we're about to do our soft launch and like
Okay,
we're about to do um we're doing like some castings for it to like
okay.
be the first ones to be in the studio and like creating the profile.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have like a lot of friends that like I had to circle back to and they're like,
Okay.
okay, I'm here for it. Because some of my friends have been like, I'm in my no filter phase. I was like, perfect. I was like, I
Oh,
knew I
nice.
was onto something. And so yeah, and I feel like it's slowly I had to like do some convincing and
Got it.
talking and a lot of conversations, but I
Yeah.
got them. They're on board. So it worked.
So you being somebody that's been in front of the camera, like you like the perfect spokesperson to do your own thing, right? Like because you can do both.
I can do both.
Okay. So you got a leg up then on anybody else trying to start something, right?
Well,
You
thank God I got something up.
That's dope. So when is the like time period for kind of launching this thing? I'm assuming you're in
So
like
we're
beta
hoping
right
for,
now.
yeah, we're like getting a soft launch going next week. And that's just really to see how user friendly the app is and like what we need to work on and all the kinks and stuff. And then I mean hopefully by the end of summer it's up and running, fully ready.
Is it gonna be like a situation where you have to be um like invited, or is this gonna be something you're just gonna release it to the public and then whoever does it does it?
Like the app, is it open or like the
Yeah,
people have to be?
like so think about like when I got on Instagram, like everybody couldn't get monetized on Reels until you
Oh,
like
okay,
got
yeah.
an invitation and say, so you starting with the people who you feel like
Right. Yeah, we're starting with like because we only we're like working on studios in multiple locations and stuff, and as soon as we can, it's just a lot of cameras and a
right,
lot of like moving parts. But there's also this thing called chroma key, and we can like have the person shoot against a wall, but it's not completely 360, but it's
okay.
still like in your house as a person who they really are. So
Mm,
there's that. And like if they sign up, then we can like teach them how to do that if they're in a different city or whatever. But yeah, so we're like planning our we're getting a location right now for a studio. So we're gonna have tons and tons of shoots where people can come in and out all the time. Which yeah, so starting small but going big.
nah, that's super dope. What's uh the future of this look like? Give me like some 3-year milestones for this.
Ah, okay. Well, I think it would probably be something like a social media platform that's 3D and like everyone has a profile now. It's like
Yes.
Instagram on crack, and
Yeah.
like everyone's making these and we're all wearing goggles if we want. I don't know how I feel about the goggles, but it's coming no matter what. We're in the goggles and we're like, we can see this person doing this in like in your living room.
Yeah.
But like it's just a regular thing, like RealAF. Oh, you're not RealAF, like I'm RealAF, you
Got
know?
it. I
It's
love
a
it.
thing. I want it just to be, and I would like the movement going towards it, like, are you RealAF?
Yeah.
A challenge. I want to create kind of like that ice bucket challenge that went around.
Correct.
That would be a deal where people are
Yeah.
going in and like doing it and like, I'm RealAF, are you? You know?
Interesting. Nah, I think it'll be good. I mean, I think with the everybody's kind of always looking for like the next new thing. Somebody just sent me some flying cars yesterday. And it's just like, okay, that's dope. But just I think people looking for something different, right? Like
Yeah.
even just threads coming out and it was just a little disruption for Twitter. And I'm like, oh, people
Reds
got
and then
excited.
X.
Yeah, so people got excited, and but I think this is on another level, right? Especially from a profile standpoint. For me, I'm always looking for competitive edges, right? So when I meet people and I'm networking, if I got something that nobody's ever heard about, I feel like, oh, I'm the pioneer. Like, hey, you don't have a real AF profile? Are you serious?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so I'm into it. So definitely keep me
Thank you.
posted. Give
I
me
will.
one. So like my platform, I have a lot of people that follow me that are more like entrepreneurial. Maybe they got a 9 to 5 and they working on like a little side hustle. What's one piece of advice you can give for somebody just looking to maybe start something and they just struggling with where do I start? I see what Arielle's doing. I wish I could do that. What's one piece of
Oh,
advice you can leave with us?
that's a good question. You just have to like sit there and work on it, and you might not get very far that day, but you actually made a lot of progress. It's just like
Mm,
putting in the time. Sometimes I feel like I went nowhere, like maybe an inch, and I was sitting there for 8 hours, whatever.
right.
But it's those little inches that add up, and like it gets you eventually to that foot. But like also, it's like that time spent getting to an inch makes things go faster down the road.
Mm,
So it's really just putting in the time, and like sometimes you just don't want to do it or can't do it or like don't understand. But like the more
yeah.
you sit there of not understanding and trying to get through it, that's where the breakthroughs are. So
I love that. I tell people celebrate the small wins, they build momentum. So you just
yep.
reinforcing that. I appreciate it. Arielle, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank
I don't
you.
even know what our time difference is. I didn't know you was in Italy. Thank you.
It's only 9, almost 9.
Oh my goodness. So I thank you for your time. Definitely keep me posted when everything launches so we can really circle back and maybe do an update to this. All right.
Okay, cool. That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.